Are you ready for this? Let's do it. Welcome to the Manifestation Queen podcast, your filter-free and uncensored source for all things manifestation. I'm Cassie MacKenzie, and I'm a manifestation expert. I'm here to raise your vibes and your cash flow. Listen, I've manifested everything from a beer, a six-figure salary, my husband, and homes, and more. And I am spilling everything I can on this podcast so you can learn how you can do the same. The more fun I have, the more manifestations appear, and the more money I make. So it's my obsession to show you how you can be, do, and have anything you want. So join the movement to raise your income and your impact on this world. Become a manifestation queen and create a life that feels like a vacation. Let's do the damn thing. What a super special day. I am so excited to be here because today I'm purposefully recording this episode of the Manifestation Queen podcast. Today being the day of our winter solstice. It is December 21st. And also, this is podcast episode number 111. So between the winter solstice, Saturn and Jupiter aligning up in the freaking planetary system, and the angel numbers of this episode, I think we have it pretty much set for it to be a magical episode. And since it's the first day, technically, of winter here in... Good God. I mean, I live in Florida, so let me paint the picture for you. I'm currently sitting in a parking lot overlooking the water, overlooking the beach, seeing people walking by with boogie boards and sweatshirts on and having a fun time. I mean, it's tropical here, of course, but it's 65 degrees outside. So for us Floridians, that is sweatshirt weather, and we freaking love it. But I will tell you this. I am so excited that it is the first day of winter here, because not only does that mean we're one day closer to summer being back here, but also, this is a time that gets very confusing for a lot of people. And I feel like I am getting more and more clarity every single day that goes by. I have more clarity now than ever in my life and in my business. And I am so excited for that. So you just have to know. So I have a book by Kyle Gray. It's Angel Numbers. One of my clients recommended it to me. Vicky, thank you for the recommendation. I love you. And 111. So the angel number 111, his explanation of this says, "You are one with all that is. Know that all you are doing and giving is for the world and all of the beings in it." And since this is the first day, we are entering into the age of Aquarius. And yes, it's a super fucking fabulous song, but in addition to that, this is the age where we really start to look inward for all of the cool things that we can manifest into our lives, all of the abundance that you become. You don't just tap into abundance. You are the source. You are the flow. You align with the abundance, and then that is what creates everything in your life for you. And I think that's really misunderstood. As you know, if you're new to my world, I am the Abundant Soul. I am Cassie MacKenzie, the host of this podcast, but also I am, my soul has been preparing for this for eons and many, many lives now. And my role and my mission is to create a limitless abundance, help you create limitless abundance in your life, in your business, so that you can experience more joy and more fun and more freedom in your life than what you're probably currently allowing yourself to feel. Now, here's the thing. We're entering into this new age where anything that's fake, anything that isn't authentic to you, all of the materialistic type desires are not really going to stick around for you, okay? Now, let me specify by this. By this, I mean materialistic desire. If I say I really want a Maserati because I want people to see me driving around in a Maserati, and then I get it and I'm unhappy, right? Then obviously that's not the point, But really, what if behind it, what if I didn't really want a Maserati, I just wanted a car that feels like it molds to my body. And I just want to be able to drive around and feel like, I don't know, like powerful in my own self too, like add to that. And so here's the deal. You are going to have to get super clear and super intentional in your life about what it is that you want or what it is that you don't want, because all of these kind of fake materialistic, like, I don't know, ridiculous bougie type shit that like you really don't actually desire. Your ego thinks that it desires. That is not exactly going to be sticking around for you. So this podcast episode is going to be dedicated to you to help you transition into this new age, give you the 2 things that I recommend that you do, my top 2 tips on what you can do today to manifest an even brighter future and a brighter reality for yourself, and what to watch out for, okay? So number 1, I just mentioned it, it's the I word, right? So you need to get super intentional about everything that you're doing, all of the people you're interacting with, all of the things the decisions that you make, the commitments that you make, the boundaries you set, all of the people who come into your life. Anything that doesn't feel good needs to be stripped away, okay? So that you can feel as good as humanly possible as many seconds out of the day as possible, okay? Now, that also requires really getting to know yourself well and shaping yourself at the identity level. And by that I mean, what do you identify yourself as? If you were to explain yourself to somebody else, what would follow after the words I am? Okay, like the words I am are powerful beyond belief. This is what creates your reality. And it is time right now that you solidify that. Like how this looks like for me is, I am the abundant soul. I am the one put here to help you understand how to create abundance in your life, how to move, how to take action, how to truly align with the abundance that you completely is your birthright. That's there for you. That's only being blocked because you block it from yourself. Okay? So this is really important. And I say this as number 1, the one thing you can do, because a lot of people skip over it, all right? You might explain, like say you explain yourself like, oh yeah, well, I'm just kind of a mess. I'm just depressed. I'm just upset I don't have what I have. And you're identifying yourself as upset, depressed, and not having what you want. What if instead you start to truly and intentionally describe yourself to yourself? Like, I am powerful. I am a powerful motherfucker. I am able to create whatever the hell it is that I want in my life at a moment's notice. And I'm not talking about rapid manifestation. Like, rapid manifestation is being thrown around like a freaking rag doll in the spiritual community. And honestly, let me say a little bit of real truth about this. There's nothing rapid about rapid manifestation. It's actually rapid alignment. It's rapid fucking alignment to what your desires are and to who you are at your identity. Okay? What you have accepted and what you identify as and what you identify with and what you're accepting into your life, that is what brings these rapid manifestations, okay? So let's just get that clear. Now, number 2, you've got to drop all expectations about how this is coming to you, okay? The thing is, like, a lot of people, and I see this every day with my clients, they think that the things that they want aren't coming to them. They think that they're bad at bringing abundance in, or they come to me like, oh, I just haven't manifested this. And I'm like, listen, buddy, it's not that you haven't manifested it. You just haven't manifested it yet. But also drop the expectations of how it's supposed to come. Like, who said you have to go out and buy a brand new car, right? Who said you have to go out and like pay for things with money? Like, there are possibilities beyond what your like 5 senses can actually sense, okay? And the universe can deliver things. Shit, man, if the universe can create like an ocean and, a beautiful set of palm trees and all of this shit, all of the things, like the daily things that we experience on a daily basis are proof that you're abundant. But also, it's a pretty crazy thing to think about how blessed and how many miracles are already there for us that we just ignore them, okay? So that was number 2. Drop your expectations of how this has to come to you, how the things are going to materialize into your life, because you don't have all the answers. If you did, you'd have all the things, right? Okay. So I think I've done that. I think I've beaten that horse. And let me also say, like, I am just as guilty of doing all these things as you are, all right? This is not me getting up on my gigantic high horse and telling you how shit you are at creating abundance in your life. This is me from my own experience, very, very recent fucking experience. Like, I do all of this stuff myself in my own ways too. So I personally am working on dropping expectations. I personally am working on getting super clear and knowing myself and feeling what I am at the core on a much more daily basis. Minute to minute, hour to hour, paying attention to all these things, okay? And then also, here's the extra tip. Just because it's wintertime, just because it's cold, just because people tell us we got to go inside, doesn't mean that the world stops turning. And it doesn't mean that your abundance stops getting delivered. And it definitely doesn't mean that you, for a second, stop taking action. Because the second that you stop taking action and you just sit in a pile and puddle of your own emotions without actively processing things, actively looking at what's coming up, doing the unsexy work, like, honestly, you have got to continually still tap into your intuition. Continue to keep your meditation practice. Continue to see what's coming up and act on it. Like, what is your inspired action? What things are popping up that's like, ooh, it'd be a good idea to call this person. Ooh, it'd be a good idea to go this way to school. Oh, wow, man, maybe it's a good idea to go on this website. Google this thing. And then all of a sudden there's the answer to your problems that you've been like, I don't know, like flipping around like a pancake everywhere. Okay? One great way, I am actually, one thing I want to say is you are best off being like surrounding yourself at this point, especially collaborating with communities, getting active in your Facebook communities, getting active with clients, with, people. Like, you can start a mastermind of your own. You can, start a little meeting once a month with some of your spiritual besties where you guys talk about how you're feeling, talk about what's coming up. Because here's the thing, and I read this recently, not everybody's going to fall asleep at the same time. So, like, if I'm going along my life and I'm having a great time, and then all of a sudden I like trip up and I don't really like, the clarity that I had seems really far away, or maybe I start comparing myself to other people, or perhaps I have a falling out with somebody and it doesn't feel good. When you're by yourself, you might be compelled to actually just try to handle everything on your own, try to process it on your own. Then that's when you become a little puddle of your emotions. You go into hibernation mode. People will hear from you for a couple of weeks, maybe a month. And all of a sudden you've like spent a month out of your time fucking around by yourself, not actually accepting or taking the help of the people around you that are there that have probably been through something similar and made it out on the other side. So while they're not asleep, you've fallen asleep, and they're able to help wake you up and to say, listen, wake up and get your shit together, because this, we are not going to allow you to stay here in this spot. Like, you are too great. There's too many people who need to hear your message. You have got to continue going. You've got to continue working through this process, through it. See what feels better. It could honestly be a 5-minute thing that just all of a sudden clicks. But if you're trying to do it all yourself, it ends up being a, situation where you're like in in a wormhole for like a month, right? So start a master or join a mastermind. I'm actually offering a mastermind starting, it's 6 months mastermind starting in January. And the beauty of these things is that these high level containers like this, these high level programs and groups, when you come together, you are able to get the support, you're able to make the movements, you're able to get out of this stowaway mode when everything seems to be chaotic and everything seems to be mass confusion. You're able to get out of that confusion faster because you've got a whole group of people behind you showing you and helping you to process and pull you through onto the other side. It's just like if you're trying to swim across a gigantic lake and you've got people who are coming out to help you float along the way so that you can expend less energy, have a happier time in the process. And yeah, you're doing the hard work. You're swimming across the lake one way or another, but when you've got help and you've got that support system, it's a much different experience than doggy paddling for like a day and a half trying to get across, right? So find a community of people cheering you on. If this sort of thing is calling you, my Align with Abundance Mastermind is actually starting in January. I think this is perfect timing to set up the whole year. Take us actually right into the summer equinox. Crazy enough, right? But this is going to be a life-changing experience that helps propel you into brand new stratospheres of your business and of your life, where you are going to align with higher consciousness. You're going to understand and be able to implement into your life and like integrate the systems of how to apply your senses to attracting more abundance in your life. Like, these are things that my soul has downloaded that nobody else can touch, because you are going to be able to learn this from me. We have group calls, we have one-on-one, we have the group chat, and we're going to have this. This is something that nobody has ever experienced with me yet. This is brand new, but I am actually implementing into this abundance activation coding sessions, where I am going to activate abundance codes in you to make you more wildly abundant than before. So not only are you processing the information, from like a knowledge base, you're emotionally working through everything as well, but then at a internal, cellular DNA level, you are going to be accessing these abundance codes that only I personally have downloaded. This is amazing. I'm so excited. So reach out to me if you're interested in the mastermind. Also, I want to say that regardless, follow these 3 steps, okay? Be intentional. I want you to get super clear on who you are, what you want, what you stand for, what your truth is, and then drop the expectations on the people around you and how far you need to be or how something needs to come to you, because that is just going to keep you waiting longer. So with that, I want you to screenshot this episode if you actually love it. If you have your plan on what you're going to do, let me know, screenshot it and tag me. I love hearing about all of the things that you guys come up with, all of the amazing aha moments. I love it when you tag me. This is so exciting. And with that, have an absolutely amazing and beautiful winter solstice. I wish you a very happy 111, happy 111th episode of the Manifestation Queen podcast. We have some amazing guests coming up on the podcast, including learning about the Akashic Records with Laura Mazzata. You're going to also be diving into human design with Paige Michelle coming up, and we have the amazing and fabulous Elisa Canali is going to be on an upcoming episode as well. So be sure to listen, hit subscribe, share with your friends. I love you so much. I can't wait to hear what you create. And with that, I love you. Talk with you next time. Bye. Thanks a million for choosing to push play on another episode of the Manifestation Queen podcast. You truly amaze me, and if this episode blew your mind, then please leave a 5-star rating and a quick review on iTunes so more people like you can become manifestation queens too. See you next time.